The Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys this Saturday, Christmas Eve. We are set at quarterback for this week. Finally know our starter and a lot of other things. So let's get straight into it.
We better do it. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? So this is going to be on the fly. I really have been really busy between the holidays, what's been going on. So I just want to go over, obviously, this matchup really quick. It's been one of those weeks where, we came out of a game versus the Bears where we didn't know what was happening, what was going on. I really wasn't even thinking about an injury to Jalen Hurts even Sunday. And figuring it wasn't going to be a big deal until we got the news that it was a sprained shoulder, and it's pretty much was in secret for a few days that, we weren't going to know what quarterback was going to be in there. I was kind of 50-50 on the whole entire thing. So it looks like as of right now, Gardner Minshew is the starter. This is a vet that can throw the football very well. Until Hurts comes back next week, most likely he will play this Saints game. There's no doubt about it. I've already kind of made up my mind that if the Eagles do win, whether they win or lose this game, they're playing Jalen Hurts next week regardless. Okay. I heard it was a 1 to 2 weeks, but he might not even need that. Well, technically, it would be almost 2 weeks by the time the next game comes. It's a whole nother week that Jalen Hurts will be probably out and will be ready for the Saints game. But with Gardner Minshew, I don't want them going to this game and being careful and cautious with Gardner Minshew. I want Gardner Minshew to go in there and start slinging the ball. That's what I want. You got a Pro Bowl offensive line with Pro Bowl alternates. Good protection. I think one of the best running backs in football, in my opinion, and obviously you have almost two 1,000-yard receivers plus Quez Watkins. Zach Pascal's out with a concussion as of right now, so Dallas Goedert comes back this week, which is huge for this offense. Okay, I want them to come out slinging the ball around. I don't think, they're going to, I still think that Miles Sanders needs 17, 18 carries or more in this game since the Eagles didn't really use him too much. You have a 1,000-yard receiver. I just still didn't get why they didn't use him as much and why Hurts was, I understand Hurts wants to make plays. I understand that, but part of it's on the coaching staff and part of it was on Hurts for not giving the ball to Miles as well and keeping it for himself and taking these unnecessary hits. I know it's football, but your quarterback is not going to have a long career playing like that, and that's just the truth to it all, okay? But when it comes down to it, this offense with Gardner Minshew present, I think they're going to go out and just be explosive. There's no doubt in my mind they'll throw 50-50 balls to, A.J. Brown, which I think Trevon Diggs will be lined up on Devontae Smith the whole day. I don't think he wants to get manhandled by A.J. Brown. The Dallas defense has took some hits. Obviously, with Kelvin Joseph being, pretty much benched in the Jaguars game, getting burned after 3 times, and don't know what's going to go on with him. I don't think their secondary is fantastic. Vander Esch is out with a neck injury because all that guy does is get concussions and neck injuries, and he's been a really good linebacker for them. Micah Parsons, obviously, you have to watch out for him. He's the best player on that defense as of right now. Jonathan Hankins is not playing in this game, so a little bit of a weakness up the middle, and I feel like what they did even with Jalen Hurts in the first game versus Micah Parsons. Usually when Micah Parsons was rushing, they did run the opposite way or pass the opposite way from him. And there was times they passed his side as well. I think one resulted in a touchdown, I think, with A.J. Brown in that game. Or there might have been 2 of them. I think it was only 1, but I'm not really sure if I could remember. So I feel like we match up very well on the Cowboys, and it's really going to be on Gardner Minshew and where he's placing this ball. Okay, this isn't a guy off the street. This guy has a lot to really fight for this week. Emotionally, definitely with Mike Leach's, the passing of Mike Leach, his ex-coach from college, definitely going to be playing for him. A lot of emotions are just running through him this past week. So, and this is really a free agency for him too. I mean, he's going to kind of showcase himself to the league since, he's probably going to want a starting job next year, most likely. I don't think if one game is going to cut it, but could get him more money, could get him a starting job next year. Who knows? Minshew's only, 25, 26, relatively still young. So he's going to try to showcase himself and have the best game possible. So I think that's going to be the big case for the offense this week. Defensively, I think, Gannon has been, the past few weeks, the pressure has been so fantastic. Hassan Reddick has been playing at a high level. You have almost a few linemen hitting double-digit sacks as it is already with Hassan Reddick, and you got Javon Hargrave that was snubbed in the Pro Bowl. So guys that were snubbed in this Pro Bowl, like Bradbury and, TJ Edwards and some of these other guys, they're going to have more motivation to play a lot better and to show the league why they, shouldn't have snubbed them, even though I think the Pro Bowl is a big popularity contest. But one of the two best, I think the best secondary in football, obviously two corners in James Bradbury and Big Play Slay. And really the only receiver you have to worry about is CeeDee Lamb. I don't know if T.Y. Hilton is playing this week. Schultz is their tight end's a pretty good tight end. Like, he's all right. But really CeeDee Lamb takes the show. And obviously stopping that run game with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, two very good running backs. And depending, like, if you shut down this run with obviously the acquisitions of Sue and Linval Joseph, since that Colts game has really made a huge difference. It has lessened the snaps for the whole defensive tackle position, less on Fletcher Cox, which he's actually playing a lot better right now. I think he has, 6-7 sacks for the year, and the pressure's been pretty good from him. You stop Zeke and Pollard, make Dak pass a lot more. And the more times Dak passes the ball, he is going to throw a pick. He is going to do something. I think, Slay or Bradbury will get a pick in this game. We haven't really had a turnover interception-wise since, I think, the Packers game. That's how long it's been. It's been a long time, so I would like to get some turnovers in this game, put this offense in good field position to win. Our special teams have been good, especially Boston Scott at kick return. Hopefully, we'll get some good snaps from Britton Covey this week. So, you don't have Chauncey Gardner back this week, but you will get him back next week. Looks like Kavon Wallace is hurt, so Reed Blankenship and Epps. Reed Blankenship will come back, full participant in practice, coming off that low grade for knee injury. So I think the matchups are going to be really well. You stop CD, you stop that run game, put more pressure on Dak Prescott, because really at the end of the day, even the first time we faced the Cowboys with Cooper Rush, our pass rush wasn't at its highest point, and that it could have been, but because of Jonathan Gannon and that bend don't break defense, and obviously when his defensive line was not getting pressure and they weren't really trying to, Gannon was not really creating or being creative with getting pressure. These stunts have almost got us to, every time we do a stunt, we're getting sacks out of it. And once this defense gets on a rhythm, and these linebackers are more in run support, which is great, it's fantastic to watch. Kind of like they had Kavon Wallace last week in, stacked in the box, which I really did like. So he was more attacking with these, even with the safeties and linebackers a lot more. And he has been doing that recently, which is awesome. So there's a lot to look at for this game. But for the Eagles and Cowboys as of right now, this is a game where this game would have been a lot bigger if the Cowboys won against the Jaguars, and that's just what it is right now. The Eagles have to win one of 3 games to get the top, obviously get the first seed and win the division. I'm not really worried about that too much, because if Dallas won against the Jags and then the Eagles lost this game this week, and then it would have been, the Eagles would have lost the tiebreaker, and then, with Hurts being out, who knows, Eagles would be in a whole different situation right now. But because of that loss, it makes this game not as much as it doesn't matter, because I really want to get this locked up and done this week. I really don't want to wait another week. But at the same time, what's most important right now, regardless of MVP, regardless of anything else, is locking up that first seed. Okay, because really at the end of the day, the Giants might lock up their division by the last game. Both teams might be sitting guys out for that last game of the season. You know what I mean? So when it goes down to it, the Eagles really need to win this game. The earlier, the better. I don't want to lose this game and wait a whole nother week, because other teams could ruin it for the Eagles, and that's just the whole thing with that. You know what I mean? So the Eagles are already in the playoffs. We have a spot. That's guaranteed, but obviously the seeding, having these teams run through Philadelphia, through the link, is what's going to be really important. I think this is what the Eagles need, and obviously from a health standpoint, to have that first round bye is going to be huge. Hurts will be way I mean, it's going to be literally after this game a month. I mean, pretty much almost a month. They could sit him, which I don't see them doing that. But they will start him, I think, one more week after this game and then kind of rest him if that's the case. So to lock up this week is going to be very important for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think Gardner Minshew could get it done. I'm not just hyping him up. I honestly think he's one of the best backups that are out there right now. And this is going to be a different offense. As much as people don't think that the Eagles have an advantage with Minshew starting this week, they do. As much as Dallas could look over tape from 2020 or from that Jets game last year, there's no tape on Gardner Minshew this year. Not saying they're not going to figure him out, but as long as the protection is there, and Minshew is just accurate, I think we're fine. I've never really had an issue with Minshew's arm. He could run too. He's not the slowest quarterback either. I see him being more under center. I'm still seeing him do some RPOs as well. He loves those slant passes. Him and Dallas Goedert have good chemistry. I kind of want to see what else other chemistry they do have together, especially A.J. Brown, and see if you're going to see 50-50 shots, which I think they will do that. I know they do it with Hurts a lot, but I want to see if they're going to have Minshew just bomb it up for A.J. Brown. So, like I said, I think there's a weakness in that defensive line up the middle. I think they could run on this team very well, and not obviously with Van Der Esch not being in as well. That definitely hurts them in the run support too. So I think there's a lot of factors here, that go into it. As long as Shane Steichen doesn't become the Shane Steichen of not running the football and putting too much pressure on Gardner Minshew, which, they did that with Jalen Hurts in that Bears game. They put too much on him. That offense needs to work around him. So the narrative of the story of this game is you got to win early. It's better to win early than wait another week and put it on Jalen Hurts for another game. If Minshew could get this win the East, win that first seed, it's going to be a huge help down the road for the rest of the season, because really after this game, they win this game Saturday. All I care about is resting players, and all I care, besides the Saints game, all I really care about is resting players after that and getting prepared and ready for the playoffs and being healthy, because reinforcements are coming back. You know what I mean? So it's a very exciting game this week. Like I said, I think this game, when it comes to the intensity of it, has went 4 notches down to the media, just because there's not much pressure on this game for the Eagles, as much as there's still pressure regardless, but it's not coming down to this game only. Sometimes, bragging rights aren't it's not the most important thing, because I really do want to win this game. Whether it's Minshew being there or Hurts, we still need to win this game regardless. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good game, and I feel like the Eagles, I'm not going to do a score prediction, but I feel like they can get, as long as that defense stays intact, as long as this offense can get yards down the field, I think they'll be fine. Stopping Zeke and Pollard is going to be huge for this defense, and making Dak throw a lot more, because once that happens, like I said, he's going to throw picks. He's going to start throwing bad, and you don't have to worry about Dak Prescott running, because they just don't do that with him anymore like they used to in his early years on the Cowboys. So, like I said, I want to lock this up this week, because then it's going to be another week we have to lock it up. I don't want to wait any longer. I want this first seed done. This way we're good to go. So at the end of the day, like, Gardner Minshew is the backup that is starting this week, and I think he has a lot to play for, himself, for this team. And to be honest, guys, you have the best offensive roster in football. As Gardner Minshew, you have the best roster offensively in football around you, with the protection and with everything else possible. Okay, between depth and starters, it's just ridiculous. And how he can't win this game, I don't know how. I think he's going to make a statement on Saturday. I think not embarrass Dallas, and I think they will beat them. And who knows? I mean, if this game surprised me a lot more with Minshew, he could go all the way and really spice it up, because I don't think this Gardner Minshew's a player that, I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys are taking it lightly that he's playing now, because Hurts is not in. But with these players around him, I'm telling you, Gardner Minshew, with the arm that he has, And he's very good in the pocket. He's got good pocket awareness. He knows how to move in the pocket, out of the pocket. I think he's great at that. And obviously, you missed that run factor with Jalen Hurts, which I can't wait till Jalen Hurts gets back and, we continue on. But the one important thing is locking up that first seed. That's the only thing that's over our heads right now. And I like the matchups. I do like the matchups. I think the Cowboys have been overlooking the past 3 games from the Colts to the Texans. And then, obviously, that loss against the Jaguars. I think they want to finally get this moment. The Eagles have not been looking too much past. They've been looking at what's in front of them, take care of business every single week. There's no doubt that Jalen Hurts will be on the sideline, obviously helping Gardner Minshew, just with everything as well. So that's really it, guys. I'm not trying to make a longer video out of it, but at the end of the day, I will not make if whatever win or loss, I will not make the excuse that we have a backup quarterback in there. I'm not going to stoop down to their level. I'm not going to be like that. Minshew has 3 days of practice. That's probably the only thing that really annoys me, is that it's a short week from Sunday to Saturday. This injury happened to Jalen Hurts, and Minshew only has 3 days. Would have had 4, but obviously the Mike Leach, he had to do the speaking sermon thing of the Mike Leach passing. So obviously, he had to do that. I put players have stuff to do like that. Personal stuff. I do not put it on them for that. I mean, it's more important than football at the end of the day. So I put no players that have to do things like that. Very close, friend of his and a coach that really put, he's the reason why he's in the NFL and as a coach and what he's taught him over the years as a quarterback, and has grown from that. So I can't put anything when it comes to personal stuff going on. We did get the news of Micah Parsons. We did get the news of Trevon Diggs that they were hurt or questionable for this game, which I don't believe. Yeah, call me Santa Claus, because, I believe that. Okay, Micah Parsons apparently was ill this week. I don't know if it's the flu or whatnot. And Trevon Diggs, I have no idea what he was injured, if he was injured or it was the flu as well. I'm not really sure about that either, but I know that Parsons was sick. So is he 100% for this game? I have no idea. I really don't care, but he better play. That's all I got to say. I want that Dallas defense fully healthy. You know what I mean? So, we'll see what happens. I think these receivers are going to go off. Devontae Smith needs 99 yards to get his 1,000 yards. That's what I want tomorrow. I want an Eagles win with Gardner Minshew as the quarterback, and I want Devontae Smith to get his 99 yards, lock up that first seed, and get this stuff going. And we'll be ready to go. So, guys, let me know in the comment section below just about the game in general, the matchups you're excited to see. Do you think Philly's offense can get it done with Gardner Minshew as the backup? Want to hear from you guys. And how do you feel about this defense that I think is completely different than when we played them the first time? And obviously, this was against Cooper Rush. I understand that. But I think the pass rush has gotten a lot better. The Eagles are leading the whole entire NFL in sacks right now. They're at 50-something sacks right now. Hassan Reddick's having a great year. Hargrave, Sweat, these linebackers are playing great. We've been dealing with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson being out, but now Reed Blankenship's coming back, which is great. Obviously, stay healthy for this game. Stay healthy after this game. We just got a couple more weeks. We have a couple more things we have to take care of, and the first thing of business is getting that first seed and taking care of the Dallas Cowboys for that sweep on Saturday, Christmas Eve, 4:25 Eastern. And I'm ready for it. So other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow us live. Peace out, guys. Peace.